All right, guys, Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now, we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today, and we are going to talk about reptile breeder honesty or dishonesty, or should they be honest? I don't really know how to phrase this. I'll get into that here in just a minute. But before we do, right in that corner right there is our subscriber button. Make sure you hit that. And for those that already have, we appreciate you following along week after week after week. Now, let's get right into this. Okay, so we had a subscriber write us in one of our previous episodes, and we thank you for that, by the way. But the comment asked if we would do a video on reptile breeders and the fact that they should be honest about what they're selling, giving an education. More primarily about things that go from this, or more primarily from something that goes from this to this. Basically being honest, unlike something that stays this size. Thank you, Balian. So from this size right here, it's not a big deal. We know the sizes these get to. Most people know the sizes these get to. But it's in, here you go. Go ahead and put them up. Yep. But it's in when you have vendors at expos or breeders that don't give any information about what people are looking for. Now, granted, it is up to the client, the customer, to do their own research into what they're buying. Yes, absolutely. They should do research, know what you're looking at, know the size habitats, the size of the animal, what it eats, what it does, the health issues that's possible for it to come up into it, all this stuff. Yes, absolutely. But what this video is about and what this subscriber asked us to do was talk about where it's also up to the breeder to not be a scumbag just trying to make a quick buck, as we see the biggest part of this industry try and do, and actually be an animal advocate for their animals and be an educator. See, a lot of these folks don't really care, okay? There's a lot of really good vendors, a lot of really good breeders that absolutely take the time to educate and to talk to their customers, making sure they have the information. Because for one, the animal that they helped to produce, I mean, it's kind of like that boa that you're seeing there. I talk about it all the time. Yeah, these were my productions. Now, they're not my productions. I didn't physically have them. The snakes had them, but I'm the owner of the snakes that had those. So our productions, and we don't want to see people just taking these animals and they get mistreated. They don't get housed properly. They don't get fed properly. They just don't have a good life just because we wanted to make a quick buck. Unfortunately, there's too many in the industry that just don't care. One of the things that I'm going to say about that is the biggest thing that it comes down to is for something like this to turn into something like this, people absolutely need to know what they're getting themselves into. And again, a lot of the times when somebody goes to, and I'm going to use the reptile expos, there's some really trashy ones into an expo, and these vendors will see what they see, a sucker across somebody's forehead, and they're going to take them for what they can as fast as they can. No education, no nothing. Oh, does this snake do this or does this lizard do this? Yep, sure does. Just say anything they can just to make a quick sale. That's trash. That's scum. It's up to the individual customer to do their research. But at things like an expo, a lot of the times they go in not really having an intention on buying something, and they go up to a vendor and they see something that's really, really pretty. See, the expos are really good for a lot of reasons, and one being that you can see a lot of varieties of animals in person that you wouldn't necessarily be able to see outside of a computer screen. Morph Market, Fauna Classifieds, Kingsnake.com, Facebook, whatever the case may be, okay? You can't see those animals literally in person, but you can at the expos. So that's one of the few good reasons to go to an expo. Yes, another good reason is you may actually come across a good quality breeder. Now, there are national breeders expos that have a lot of good quality breeders and things like that. But again, it's also about the vendor or the breeder. When people come up to them wanting a pet, do you know what size this gets to? Do you know what you're going to have to house this in? Do you know what food you're going to be feeding it? One of the things that's most important is truth in education. And that's one of the things that should be prided upon is giving the truth, okay? Whether it's always popular or not, who cares? But people having a true education and knowing what they're getting themselves into is most important. The type of housing, the type of ecosystem, the type of food, the size of potential, and then if they're interested in breeding, even some of the morphology that goes into that species. See, the fun of these animals is the education that we're able to give back. And unfortunately, in a lot of places, there are a lot of breeders, there are a lot of vendors at expos that don't give 1 ounce of an education. They'll sell anything to anybody without telling them anything that they need to look out for. And yes, something that does get to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 feet can be a dangerous animal in the hands of somebody that is inexperienced and does not know what they should do with those. Now again, granted, that's a 2-part process. It's 50-50. The customer should always know what they're getting before they buy it. But at the same time, when you're going to a place where the person should be a reputable person, doesn't mean they are, but a reputable person, that person should also make sure the education is given so that the customer understands exactly what they're getting themselves into. Okay? Now, didn't really know exactly what to say about that other than just, I guess, talking about more about what should be vendor and breeder morals and ethics. A lot of them do have that, absolutely. There's a lot of breeders and vendors that have some really good ethics, and I've seen really good stand-up vendors and breeders. And then I've seen the bottom of the barrel, the scum of the earth, and the trash of the bottom of the trash of the dumpster that will do anything they can just for a quick buck. So again, if you're a breeder, if you're a vendor, look, just give an education. Maybe you do lose a sale, but you know what? Honesty is going to pay off, and especially in this industry, because people are going to be like, oh no, he talked me out of that because I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. And a lot of times that leads into future sales because you have given an honest education, which puts confidence from the customer to you, and then they feel more confident about coming back to you because you're going to be honest with them in the future. Okay? All right, this is Chad. We are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo Medical Center and Store. All right, we do have the full storefront, all kinds of supplies, all kinds of wonderful reptilian, amphibian, and arachnid pets. We have, of course, the zoo with Solomon the King Cobra, the only one on exhibit in the state of North Carolina. And we do enjoy folks being able to come and see him and the green mamba and all different kinds of things that we have here on exhibit. Now, we appreciate you coming along week after week after week. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, bell for notification. Also, feel free to check us out on our TikTok channel at also Reptile Rangers and the Instagram page at Kernersville Reptile Zoo. Also, you can check out the Facebook's page, Kernersville Reptile Zoo as well. So there's several different media platforms, and we do, again, appreciate you coming along with us. Now, once again, make sure, if you have not done so, to hit that subscribe button right there in the bottom corner, and we'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.